How can your group grow from what happened in Minnesota?
You got to be able to separate yourself from the result and just watch the tape for what it is. And there's a lot of great things that we can take with us and find ways to get better. And there's a lot of things that we can learn from so we don't repeat them in terms of mistakes. But there's always opportunities to grow in any result, win, lose, or draw. And obviously, especially in losing, you're going to probably point at a few more things, but you've just got to be disciplined and be able to take the good with the bad and find ways to get better.
We've seen you guys dominate in the fourth quarter in so many different games this year. When you're on the sideline watching that all unfold, are you thinking, hey, we're going to get this done? And were you surprised eventually with the outcome?
Yeah, I think I speak for everybody in the locker room. I felt like we were going to go score, and it just didn't work out this week. We've been so good in the fourth quarter. Felt like we played a dominant second half of football. We just couldn't get it. We just couldn't get it done in the red zone, and it happens. So we've been the beneficiary on the other side also. But credit to them. That's the way they've been winning all season, and we're going to have our opportunities anytime you get into this type of football. December, playing playoff teams, they're going to come down to the wire, and the team that can make the plays at the end are usually going to win. And we just missed out.
You have an elite defense, but what's happening in the second half? Because I think you guys have given up 10 points over the last 4 games.
Yeah. Get credit to Brick, the staff, and then obviously the players in terms of execution with the adjustments that we've got to make. And some things that you see from a game plan standpoint, they might throw the curveball, and I feel like the entire group is doing a really nice job communicating to the players, and flipping the script when we need to, and making the adjustments that we need to make. And so it's been really good in that regard, and we'd love to get it started from the beginning, but it's promising when you can flip the script in the middle of a game. It just tells you that the players have a really good grasp of everything that we're doing and the entire system, and that we can pivot if we have to without screwing people up.
Mike's been really solid. What did you think about that sequence where he takes that monster shot on third down, he comes back and hits Corey on fourth down?
Big, because you could always play the hindsight game, and I know that one worked. I was like, God, I wonder if I should punt here. He's hurting, and I was like, we got to go. And we felt good about the defense and the way it was playing. Felt like we'd be able to get the ball back anyway, but it just speaks to volumes about him. When he was down, it was when he got up, there was no doubt we were going to go for it. And but he's a tough SOB, and if he stood up, I knew he was going to be able to throw the ball without even thinking. And credit to Corey, made an unbelievable catch, and you couldn't tell me we weren't going to get in the end zone at that point, but it is what it is.
All right, you take these guys for a reason, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, because you see special potential. But did you envision them being elite players at this point in their career?
You never do. You expect them to become pretty damn good because you take them so high. That's why you fell in love with them. But until you actually work with them day to day, you have the draft part, and you feel really good. You feel good about the character. You feel good about all those things. But until you get your hands on them, you don't really, on a day-to-day basis, and you go through adversity and you go through trials and tribulations, do you really understand what you have? So Garrett's got this very Gumby-ish movement to him. You can equate it to a basketball player who's got an elite crossover dribble where he just works outside his frame and has got all these moving body parts, and you just don't know what to focus on as a defender. And so because of that, he can create lots of separation. And then as far as Sauce is concerned, like usually guys his height aren't very good in transition, but he has such elite strain and quick twitch that you don't see the normal stiffness you would see, or the lankiness that you would see out of a guy his height. And because of that, they're able to make up. From a receiver standpoint, he can separate, and from a corner standpoint, close ground a lot faster than you would think.
All right, let's get into the rematch here. Jets, Bills. You won the first meeting. How much can a team change in a second meeting, and how much are you who you are, your DNA?
A little bit of both. When you look at a team like Buffalo, they weren't healthy when we played them. They're missing both safeties, both corners. and Milano, who's a dynamic football player. So they're fully healthy. So they change a lot. They got they're minus Vaughn, but at the same time they've got their entire secondary minus one of the safeties, and both linebackers. So they're a dynamic group. They look pretty darn good. They looked fantastic against New England on Thursday Night Football. And then offensively, you can see things in terms of just from a philosophical standpoint what they're trying to accomplish, and so you can change. At the end of the day, you are who you are, and you can go into those games and try to trick them, and end up tricking yourself, or you can go into the game and try to be standard, but then you can allow them to tee off. So there's a little bit of a mix that you got to be smart with, but it's always a challenge when you play a team twice.
Do you enjoy the chess match?
Always.
Yeah.
That's why we get into this. This is the fun part.
You said Josh Allen was like a Superman playing quarterback. You guys had the kryptonite in that first meeting. How much do these guys relish the opportunity to go against a guy like that?
I think if you're any kind of a competitor, you love playing the best, and Josh is deserving. Josh is freaking good, man. He wants to run people over. He's tough as nails. He throws the ball all over the park. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and he's going to be a tremendous challenge, and it's a challenge that I think everybody's excited to attack.
You've already closed the gap inside the division. You've won a lot of games on the road already this year. You talked about the growth that you think you're going to have after this Minnesota game. What do you think about the opportunity at hand going outside in Buffalo against the two-time defending division champs?
You're always excited. All these opportunities are always exciting. Every game from here on out is going to be the biggest game of the year. Last week was the biggest game of the year. This week's going to be the biggest game of the year. Detroit's going to be the biggest game of the year. Thursday night, it's not going to stop. Especially this time of month where every game is so darn important. But that's why we talk the way we do in the beginning of the year, where every game is a championship moment. So when you get to these moments, it doesn't change. You keep attacking the week the way we know how to attack the week, and so we'll attack it like we have every other week in terms of just that mindset that this is the most important game of the year because it's this game, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.